and welcome back. We're picking up where we left off last time in Strategic Command World War I in the Cold Arms campaign as the Central Powers in the second part of the third stream, where I think we're about to have a offensive going on in Serbia. We're going to take Warsaw, and we're probably not necessarily going to be doing anything on the Western Front, although that's because we are probably preparing to do something on the next turn. Most of the French units have been transferred through. So we're basically waiting for the artillery piece to reload. It'll be really reloaded enough to basically probably shoot them out of the mines. We'll shoot them out of Laos next turn, I think. Let's take a quick look at diplomacy. This is something that I've mostly been ignoring. Mostly because it's going to cost us MPPs and it has a fairly low return on investment. The notable ones for nations that have not joined is the US. So we're about 9% to the US joining the war. This goes up mostly due to unrestricted naval warfare, or unrestricted submarine warfare on the British. Although their blockading does lower it. So if you're raiding the British more than they're raiding you, it'll go up. Vice versa, if the British are basically raiding you like they are now, it's actually slightly going down here. Every once in a while, the Americans may actually get pissed at them, because they do want to trade with us too, and they're being prevented from trading. Although the British have 2 places that they can piss the Americans off with. We have 4, so if we really went to town with it, we could throw this up real fast. We haven't felt the need to do unrestricted naval warfare yet, so the Americans are fairly calm. The other one we're looking at is Bulgaria. So Bulgaria is one of the forces that will join us. They join us as we take over the Poland area. We'll push them towards joining the war. And Serbia, I think, will push them towards joining the war. So they're pretty neutral right now, around 47%. As we take more of Poland and Bulgaria, I think that will push them into the war quicker. Vice versa, Romania may join the other side if we're losing lots of territory, even if temporarily, to Russia in the Galatian region. We managed to avoid that. So we'll probably get away with avoiding Romania joining the war. And the other team has apparently done some Portugal stuff. So Portugal is actually a little bit more pro-allies than they normally will be. Later on, there will be a coup in Greece that will probably bring Greece into the war. That's kind of unavoidable. And then we want to keep Norway, the Netherlands, Denmark, and Sweden favoring us. We only need them to favor us. We don't need them to come join the war. That's where we should be looking for diplomacy, and that appears to be the case on all of them. So we don't need to rush for any of that right now. Okay, let's get you back in port. I don't think I think it's just the sub out there. I wasn't able to find the sub. Presumably probably went back to port. Let's move you there and get... Oh, I couldn't get you entrenched there. Shame. That might get you a little mold. Oh, that's sleep, not... Unsleep you. You're not in a position where you can reinforce. The supply situation is probably too bad there. Okay, so in this situation, I either need to run the gauntlet or shoot. Don't do both. Well, they ran to port. Which I suppose this is going to allow me to continue raiding their line, so yeah, they're going to come out or they can hide in port. One of the two. Nope, we hit the destroyer again. That was not what we wanted. We'll see if we get to raid, or if we're going to get interdicted again. Ooh, bunch of light cruisers. In a very dangerous place for the enemy light cruisers to be right now. There we go. 3 light cruisers of the, I think, British Navy sent to the bottom. Oops. That was not what I wanted to do. Luckily, we didn't hit our own mines there. That would have been the potential oops that could have happened. How did I set waypoints again? Keyboard shortcuts. Control, then select route. Okay. Oh, of course, because that unit's there, I can't say I want you to waypoint at that location. Fine, we'll go there. We'll see how many British ships are actually in the area, because they could definitely come out and be a little bit of an issue. They want it to be. Okay, that's reinforcement on the western front. I don't think we're going to attack anywhere just yet. We will next turn. The artillery will prep an attack location, and then we'll go in. Okay, let's start our bombardments for these locations. So, reconnaissance run. We need to hit at least 4 times. We should have exactly 4 shells to hit it with. Get you there, turn the trench around. Let's pull you out of the line. Same sort of thing here. Got enough an action points so you can turn the trench around. And at that point, I think that's our bit of land. So we got Warsaw, and the Russians are probably not going to be able to take it back. Do I take a 1 to 2? Yeah. That swing. So, we'd like to cut off the Russians west of the swamp. So to do that, we need to control this rail line, and this rail line. Obviously, to really do that, that means we need to get the Austro-Hungarians in the south attacking, which probably means they need more artillery support. Dig in. Let's get some recovery on those units. Damaged ones that we're thinking about attacking with in the very near future. Might be useful to, have them ready to fight. Okay, so I think that's us on the Eastern Front. There are the Fortress of Grodnov, Grodino, and Brest-Litovsk in our way. If those fall, well, we don't really need that one to fall. If we get this one to fall, that should hamper Russian supply west of the marshes. In the meantime, let's look down here at Serbia. I think we got an adequate number of shells for the targets that we want to shoot at. In fact, we arguably have too many shells. I'm going to shoot the 5 that we need to get rid of the entrenchment here, and then I'm going to shoot 1 extra just to bring the morale real low. There we go. We'll go to the next one, because what we may do is try to shimmy a little bit closer. For a follow-up attack in the next turn. Are we allowed to cross the river? Yes. There we go. Here we go. So we've taken Belgrade. We destroyed a spare unit. Push you close to the city, which I think is what we'll do. So we'll have 5 shells. We'll dump 3 on this one, 2 on this one. We should be able to get the rest of that bit to collapse. And yeah, so the Russians have stopped sending supplies to the Serbians, which makes sense. We're sitting on the supply line. Anyway, we'll just sit on rating status here. Don't think we're going to do anything down here. I don't think we're going to get any good opportunities up here. The Russians haven't suffered the national loss penalty yet from the Four of Warsaw. We'll see that on the next turn. Well, we'll see the event for that over the end turn. Don't think I can do a bunch of damage from the sea, but we'll try. No, that isn't vulnerable. That's bombardment like that. Do I want to do a swap? I'm actually going to do the swap here. I can pull you back up into better supply. Should be able to reinforce there. That is one problem we're going to run into out in the Alps, is the Alps supply situation, because it's the Alps, is bad enough we can't necessarily reinforce in location. Let's put the supply away, please. Oh, you're outbound. Ah. Okay. Okay, so we'll definitely be interdicting the UK-Russia line. At least one spot. You're good, you're good, you're good. And you're good. Like, arguably, I got too many raiders. That's... In many ways, that's a good thing. That means they're going to have trouble trying to get all of them. Okay, so progress there, progress here. Preparation for progress over here. Sent the light cruiser to the bottom. And we're stable over here. Okay. So now the question is, what do I want to spend and where? We completed something as Austria-Hungary, or as Germany. So I've now got 70 space to spend. Completed airship development. Oh, to be fair, airship development is strike range, so we probably don't... We don't need it, but we want it. Because that'll allow us to... Because we're mainly using our airships as reconnaissance vessels. So that's +1 range on them. Although I think I need to upgrade them with the strike range, if I want that upgrade. I don't think that's something to get for free. So I would actually we'll see that here. Yeah, I'd have to upgrade them with it. +2 strike range, for example. And for the reconnaissance we're doing, that's +2 reconnaissance coverage. We got the logistics invested in, we got mobility invested in. Could invest in the next one of advanced sub. Let's do that. We've got 280. Got all the trench that you need. I think I want to save up for another artillery piece, which is 300. grab the last entrenchment. It's more industrial tech. We don't have anything impending as the Ottomans. Like, sooner we invest in the industry tech, the sooner it pays off. Whereas Austria-Hungary, we want plane, or we want artillery, we want planes, so many things we want. Yeah, I think artillery is the next thing. I want some artillery to do a push here. And as Austria-Hungary, the artillery that we want to pay is 330, or 330. And we do want an artillery. Oh, and we got an artillery in Q. It's showing up in November. We still probably want another one. And with the artillery upgrade. That'll help with pushing this way. So November, we're going to be able to start attacking here. Although it'll be November, so attacking might not be the most successful in, Russian winter. Okay. And then, as the Germans, we're kind of waiting for Bulgaria to join the war. Bulgaria is soon. Right. We could be picking up more units, and it would be picking up more units if we were to try to spend the German points. Which is one of the reasons we're waiting for Bulgaria to join the war, is because I'd really like to invest in Bulgarian units. HQs. Okay, let's cycle the turn. We're going to get a swing on Bulgaria coming into the war from Belgrade falling. Russian morale falls due to the loss of Warsaw. Germany celebrates the capture of Warsaw. Serbian morale falls due to the loss of Belgrade. Serbian moves government to Niš. U.S. protests the sinking of one of its merchantmen because we're still on it. Still interdicting its trade. Bulgaria takes an increasing interest in the events in Serbia. Disrupts Norway-German convoys. So they're still on our trade route up there. We get hit with rough seas, but that's not really an issue. Blockade and blockade, yeah. We've hit trench warfare 3. Got a acceleration on logistics. Acceleration on trench warfare. Ottoman Empire hits trench 2. So the cruisers right now, unless they've got anti-submarine warfare, can't actually hit the subs. Although if they're engaged like that, they are stopping the subs from raiding. Contact. Oof. It took 7. Ow. I feel the pain on their behalf for that. Yeah, light cruisers don't really fight the armored version very well. Or the battlecruiser version very well. Oh, they have a dreadnought I have not seen before. AI is learning is finding ways to surprise me still. I suppose it hasn't been long enough that if the Russians had decided to build one, they'd have it by now. Oh, I feel like the French must have just hit artillery 1. Didn't chill us quite enough to remove all the entrenchment there, but yeah, I think they have artillery 1. They definitely got through our entrenchment. The de-entrenching of the artillery. Okay, so that means we're going to have a slightly more bloody affair on the Western Front going forward. Darn, the cruisers ran away. It looks like their turn's winding down. We disrupt 4 trade routes, or 4 transport routes. Oh, and only one of the locations is being blockaded right now. Von has been damaged, and the 10th Corps was destroyed. This is all the trading, so 60, 70... maybe 80 points of MPP damage there. War Minister Sheikh Sid Ahmad As-Sharif, leader of the Susi in Serenica, remains loyal to us and longs for the days when he can drive the Italians from his lands. He is ready to rise, but asks for officers to lead his men and weapons and equipment to arm them. Would you like to spend 50 MPP to provide necessary support for the rising? And the answer is yes. And we got some fighters as Austria-Hungary. We'll use those to protect our bombers, although they probably aren't necessary to protect the bombers there yet. So let's take a quick gander at the national morale for the people. So 85. So the UK is doing pretty happy. France is down to 75. I think we got to get them below 75 for them to take the second hit, national morale-wise. Italy's at 91, so they haven't taken their first one yet. The Russians, after the fall of Warsaw, are down to 72. So the Russians are still in it, but they're definitely taking... Oh no, this is the Serbians. The Serbians, after the fall of Belgrade, are below 72, so the Serbians aren't particularly happy. And the Russians are down to 62. So these are both suffered both 2 of the 3 morale hits they can hit. German morale is high enough in theory, we're getting a morale buff nationwide. And then diplomacy, where are we for Bulgaria? 59. Okay. That was less of a swing than I was expecting. Okay, I only got 3 shells between the 2 places. We're gonna do the recon run, and we're gonna shell. Okay. So our attack continues. We basically pushed Serbia out of northern Serbia. We're not in necessarily a good strike range for Niche itself yet. Niche itself. That's probably the next place we're going to take. National buff. Can I get you to port? Theory, yes. Okay, so we'll be able to repair him next turn. Although we're coming up on the point where he will no longer be necessary for blockading in that location. Okay, you're on raiding stance. You've got 7, so I'm actually going to put you back in raiding stance and we're going to come out and raid as well. Armored carrier, armored cruisers out of position. Okay. We might be losing our cruiser here. I was not expecting there to be another battleship there. I don't think the light's going to fare well against the armored one. DT is still damaged. This is the Italian Navy coming and being an issue. Okay. One to 2 is probably pretty good. I think we got 3 to 1 instead of 1 to 2. Or no, 1 to 3 for us. Instead of the 1 to 2 that was predicted. 2 isn't too bad, but don't really want to risk it with Austro-Hungarian. Although Austro-Hungarian at this point can pick up the artillery we've been saving up for. In the Mountain Corps. We want the Mountain Corps for, you know, up the mountains. As the Germans, we should take the replacement corps that we lost. Start redeploying the 10th. Okay, reconnaissance delivered. Swap the trench around the other way. Oops, don't sleep. Dig in. Okay. So with that, we destroyed one French location. We've taken our spot back. I think that is a reasonable assault for the fact we only got 1 artillery on our hands. Oops. There. Okay. So I think it's just that 1 light cruiser. You need to get back to port. Okay, mostly back in our defensive box of mines. And 2 more British ships to the bottom. What's your supply looking like? 6. We're going to leave you on the route to raid, but we're going to move you closer to where you can come back for resupply. We're at supply 8. Push you farther out. You're at supply 7. That's the India-UK line. Oh, and we're out of supplies, so we need to be finding a way back to port. That's where we're at. So we'll come off a raiding there because we need to go get resupplied. Resupply 6. We did the stuff there. You actually only just got back to port, so next turn we need to reach you. Or send you back out again. Caught a Russian mountain corps in the open. I was hoping to be able to get this guy to join in as well. I think that's the rail line. So from there, we'll be able to, I think, strategically redeploy up to there. I think this rail line goes through here. A little hard to tell. It says I can hide the units to make that easier to tell. Ah, it does, but it goes through that hex. So we probably won't be able to do that then. Tempted, but I spent most of the Austrian resources. Although they're going to get most of them back. They're going to get another turn of respending. Yeah, so we'll take the 1 to 3. Okay, 1 to 3 getting turned into 2 to 2 is not what I was bargaining for. So we can deal with him. If we can get to Brest-Litovsk. Again, that's another national morale objective for the Russians. I do want to cut this rail. Okay, I think I know how I'm going to do this. Okay, so at this point, the pocket still kind of has a way past Brest-Litovsk. Oh, well, through Brest-Litovsk. So if I can cut either Russian side of Brest-Litovsk or take Brest-Litovsk, these guys will be encircled and we're getting national morale bonuses for destroying each and every one of them. Which is kind of what we want. And yes, the Bulgarians, I don't think I've joined the war yet. We need to get the artillery up to hit these 2 locations. Although I don't necessarily know how many forces the Serbians have left at this point. If we're not shooting the artillery next turn, we'll probably actually run the recon bombers as a reconnaissance run to figure out that number. You got Naval 3. What are you rocking for naval? Two. Yeah, that wouldn't be a great exchange. Well, that wouldn't be as bad as I was thinking it was. Yeah, I'll take the risk. Okay. I'm hoping our armored cruiser here will back off if the battleship attacks it. Research-wise, Ottomans. You got the production tech or industry tech going. Do you want more production tech? Actually, let's pick up both spying and intelligences on the Ottomans. We've got 60 spare here. Do I want to spend it, or do I want to save it? Oh, subs just have advanced sub. Okay. So you can see there with anti-submarine warfare, improves the anti-submarine attack of all units apart from dreadnoughts, pre-dreadnoughts, and cruisers. Okay. I'm not sure if it's all cruisers. I think light cruisers might get affected by it for damage. But everything else it's buffing at some defense. Oh, as well as the MPP lost the convoy suffer from the raiders. Okay. Go aerial warfare for more fighters. Build limit. +1 build limit for fighters. Yeah, let's pick that up for the extra fighter build limit. And then we cycle the turn, I think. We are sitting on a bunch with Germany, so we could purchase stuff. But again, I think I mainly want to invest this into Bulgaria when Bulgaria joins. I think that will be soon. Welsh miners and railway workers go on strike. Entente naval units north of Scotland, blockading imports to Germany. So they've only got the Scotland ones. They don't have the don't even have the North Sea. The Canard and Chantay begins publishing in France. Nicholas II becomes commander-in-chief of the Russian armed forces. Socialists from throughout Europe meet at Zimmerwald in Switzerland. Scientists' progress reports in spying intelligence boost to 84. Got production tech to level 1. We'll probably replace that by grabbing level, or starting the process on level 2. Advancement on industry tech. And they're not raiding the Norwegian line to this turn. Thank you for running the port. The sub just read through us. Can you run the port? That wasn't a port. Ah, there it goes. We lost the light cruiser instead of the armored cruiser. HQ attempting to run for it, as it probably should. That's kind of face checking the port. And it has no ability to move, so I think we're about to score a nice, easy free kill there. Okay, that's going to stop the interdicting there for the moment, although we know where Dreadnought is right next to a submarine, which is very cost-effective trading, because the Dreadnought can't hurt the submarine. Well, I think there's a very rare chance it gets like 1 damage. Should probably move that Austrian-Hungarian fighter to the Alps. Don't think it's going to help in Serbia. Lost the hex we just took. Of course, if there's any hex you want to lose, it's probably one you just took. Oh, well, and we might not get interdicted from raiding if it doesn't sit next to us. I know if your units actively, or your subs are raiders. And if any of your raiders are actively engaged, they don't raid. UK-Russia convoy raided, and a couple of UK supplies going to UK. So one of them, I think... Well, obviously the one that we're not blockading, that makes sense, because we're the zero supply guy. And they're not doing the North Sea blockade. So we've definitely got the... We got the British not up to the normal stuff. We lost a light cruiser, we lost a reserve corps. Bunch of raiding there on 6 different locations. So 60, 70 MP again lost to the Entente. Got some mountain troops deploying. We're just going to go ahead and deploy them here. Bit of an aggressive deploy, but... before I get pulled into doing more of the turn, I think this is a good place to put a part break in. We're coming up on the hour. I'm going to go ahead and we're going to take the tea break. But before I take the tea break, we're going to do a review of losses and national morale. So the Russian losses as a total losses are actually going down percentile-wise. That might be a little bit due to other people losing, as well as our losses going up, as the Western Front is no longer quite so immune to destruction at this point, let's say. So we've lost 13% as the Central Powers. The other 87% have been lost by the Entente, 43% by Russia, 10% by Serbia, 2% by Italy, 12% by France, 19% by the UK. And we have managed to keep the Central Powers away from double digits, although all the major majors for the Entente are in double digits, although only Russia is in the 30+ range. Russia's coming up on plus. National morale, England's down to 83, 74, so France should be being hit with a double national morale hit. Italy's at the point where they should be taking one national morale hit, probably due to ships. Serbia should be taking the double national morale hit. Russia should be taking the double national morale hit. This is one of the reasons I'm not doing unrestricted naval warfare. The main reason you do unrestricted naval warfare is to drive the British national morale down, or drive the Germans up. Sort of to compensate for the fact that the British can drive the Germans down by blockading you. We're so high at the moment that we don't need it. Almost at 100. Obviously, I think that's a bit the loss of the port, or loss of the oil fields a little bit. As we probably would be above 100% here. 83% here, so we haven't suffered the second one yet. Although we probably will suffer the second one in the range of this campaign on the Ottomans. Unless we get the breakthrough Serbia into Bulgaria on real soon. Because eventually we're going to get an uprising in Arabia. I might be able to suppress that if we have Bulgaria, and I can send some detachments down from Austria-Hungary. Or from Germany. Probably Austria-Hungary. And then from the diplomacy standpoint, we've got Bulgaria to 61. So not much more, and Bulgaria will be on the road to war. Thinking probably either fall of these two locations will cause them to swap to our side. But we're going to look at how this rolls in the next part. If you're watching on YouTube, that will be tomorrow. If you're watching on Twitch, this will be the midstream tea break where I go get a new cup of tea, so it'll be a longer break than normal. So until the next part, I wish you all the best of luck and a good time. Catch you all in the next part, and bye for now.